So now for video number six, video number six is going to cover the newer European part of Istanbul as compared to the old city of Sultanahmet. So this is going to cover the areas of Dolmabahçe Palace, Beşiktaş, um, the Taksim Square area, Istiklal, Cadessi, and Galata Tower. Before I start, there are two sites in the old city which I didn't cover in my previous video, but these are kind of optional stops. They're not really required um, if you want to visit them or not. Uh, Really, if you have enough time. The other really problem is that it is uh, not really accessible public transportation side. Um, Public transportation wise, it's not really accessible. It's accessible by foot, and it could be a very long walk to get there. Um, the first site is the Masjid Mosque Ashtum of Sultan Salim Yavuz or Salim the First. Um, Sultan Salim Yavuz is the father of Sultan Suleiman. His two claims to fame was that he conquered uh, the Middle East for the Ottoman Empire, and then defeated the challenge by uh, Shah Ismail I and the Safavid Empire of Iran, um, which created kind of the long-standing rivalry between the Ottoman Empire and first the Safavid Empire and then subsequently the Qajar Empire in Iran. Um, so these are his two main claims to fame. His tomb is quite old. It's a very nice place to see, interesting place to see, very conservative. The neighborhoods are very interesting to walk through, but once again, it's a hike to get there. The other place which you can add as an addition, and this is primarily for my Pakistani viewers, is the tomb of Hazrat Ayub Ansari. Hazrat Ayub Ansari is one of the companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his tomb is located in Istanbul. Once again, the problem is it's not really accessible via public transport, though they're extending um, the tram line to go there. It's currently under construction, which I saw in my visit last year. If you have additional time, that is worth a place to go to see as well. I have never went there. I wanted to go in 2019, but did not have the time to. Um, now to go into the main part of the video. Um, so the newer part of European Istanbul is also kind of the more wealthier part of the European side. Consists of very fairly neighbor, and also a kind of gentrification has occurred there as well too in certain neighborhoods. So some of the neighborhoods you're going to be going to would be Beşiktaş, Ortakoy, some of the other famous parts, neighborhoods, or the financial district of Istanbul, Levent and Maslak. The more upmarket area of Nişantaşı, a lot of upmarket shops and shopping is based there. But the main sites will be what you are most interested in. The most important site is Dolmabahçe Palace. So Dolmabahçe Palace, there's a little bit of background, was built during the reign, towards the end of the reign of Sultan Mahmud II, as part of the modernization effort to abandon kind of the old ways of the Ottoman Empire. So they abandoned Topkapi Palace for Dolmabahçe Palace. It's built right on the Bosphorus Straits. The problem is that because this was being built towards the end of the Ottoman Empire was not as wealthy. So in the process of building Dolmabahçe Palace, the Ottoman treasury became bankrupt, based on the grandiosity of how the palace was built, because it was built completely on European lines, as a European royal palace, like Buckingham Palace in London, for example. Basically followed that model. It's kind of sad for someone like myself who was a student of Ottoman history The city towards the end, they built such an instantaneous monstrosity, in my personal opinion. And then subsequent to that, they also built two other palaces along the same lines, not on the same scale as Dolmabahçe. The other two being the Chiron Palace and the Bailey Palace on the Asian side. The easiest way to get to Dolmabahçe Palace is via the tram. So from Sultanahmet, you're going to take the tram to the end of the tram line. So the last stop of the tram line, you're going to get off. From there, Dolmabahçe Palace, the 5-minute walk. Dolmabahçe Palace is not managed by the Turkish Ministry of Tourism and Culture. So the museum pass will not work there. You'll have to purchase a separate ticket. It's managed, interestingly enough, by the Turkish Ministry of National Defense. So all of the employees at the museum or at the palace will be retired Turkish military, just to keep you in mind. There are no guided tours. It's all self-guided. If you want to rent one of those earpieces with audio playing, you can do that. But it's all self-guided. They have a gift shop there, a small cafe there if you want to buy trinkets or souvenirs. Obviously on the expensive side. But nice views of the Asian side and the Bosphorus Straits from the palace grounds. So that's worth seeing. After Dolmabahçe Palace, you can take a walk on that main street. It's a very nice tree-lined walk. Probably about a 25-minute walk to the neighborhood of Ortakoy. So Ortakoy is one of the most picturesque parts of the city and probably most photographed because you have the Ortakoy Masjid. There's a very small masjid and mosque, and the backdrop of the Bosphorus Bridge. A lot of Instagram-worthy pictures can be taken there. Excuse me. It's a very nice walk to get there. You get nice views. They have nice small kind of cafes if you want to get Turkish coffee and a dessert and sit there and kind of enjoy seeing the ships pass by on the Bosphorus Straits, going to the Black Sea, or from the Black Sea going in the other direction. They also have there's a very nice restaurant located there, recommended by a very good friend of mine, Shabnam Arsu. I have to give a plug for you, Shabnam, if you do see this video. It's called the House Cafe. It's right on the Bosphorus Straits. You get a very good breakfast there. Serve lunch and dinner there as well. Make sure you have Google's Translate. They're only going to be speaking Turkish there, so no English. But it's a very nice place to go, and if you want to go in the morning to have breakfast there. So Ortaköy area they have kind of shops there around that area. It's a nice place to linger around for maybe an hour, hour and a half. If you want to get nice picturesque views of the city. The next part you want to go to is the Taksim Square area. So from Ortaköy, basically, we're going to walk back towards the tram station, which is probably be a 30-minute walk. So once you get to the tram station, from the tram station, they have an underground connection to a funicular, which will take you from Beşiktaş up into Taksim Square area. So Taksim Square area, it's a large square. It's been they have a monument there for the Turkish Republic. Beyond that, there's not much to see there other than a square and kind of traffic going around there. I went there for the first time in 2019. I didn't think very much of it, to tell you the truth. But the key thing about Taksim Square is that it's either the end or the beginning of Istiklal Cadessi, which is the main kind of pedestrian thoroughfare where no cars are allowed and pedestrians can go to, though they do have an old tram trolley which goes through there. The vibe of Istiklal Cadessi is very similar, especially at night. There's Times Square in New York, or East Village, or kind of M Street in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Very interesting vibe. They have shops and uh, cafes and restaurants there. Uh, Very interesting to see there. So you can walk all the way through Istiklal, Cadessi. Whereas then, if you want to take that tram, you can. Then when you get to the end, towards the other side, away from Taksim, and you want to exit that way, there's another funicular which goes down and which connects with the Karakoy, comes very close to the Karakoy tram stop to take the tram back to Sultanahmet if you're staying in Sultanahmet. The other area which you want to see in after you get out there is the Galata Tower. The Galata Tower was built by the Genoese, actually. It's a private museum, so it doesn't. The museum pass, I believe, does not cover it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but so please check that. But if you get to the top of the tower, it gives you great views of the old city, 360 degrees around. If you walk around the tower of the city, excellent views. I believe I went during the winter, so there was no line to get in. I'm assuming in the summer, lines will be very much longer to get there. And then the neighborhoods around Galata Tower have gentrified to a significant extent, so that area is very interesting to walk through. From the Galata Tower, it is walking distance to the Karakoy tram stop. It's maybe 5-10 minute walk. It's not that far. That will do it for this video. The next video will focus on the Asian side of Istanbul. If you want to take a visit there, which is definitely, if you have the time or if you want to, definitely worth a visit. So until then, thank you.